So, how to identify surging apart from noise? Other than noise, what parameters should be looked at if my should be entering condenser water temperatures are greater than threshold limit, say 35? Can this be called a surge? So, other than noise, a couple of things will also be a symptom of it. One, you're not going to be able to maintain uh, your leaving water output. So your leaving water, even though, let's say for some reason you had a chiller that just you couldn't hear the surge. Okay, there are just in that reality. Okay, so the sound of the surge, and that also takes a trained ear. To be fair, okay, so maybe you aren't as comfortable understanding what a surge sounds like, so you don't realize that what you're hearing is a surge condition. That's a very fair and common place to be. So what else can you look at to verify is this what's happening? One, you're going to lose leaving water control. You're not going to be able to maintain set point, and then depending on what your loop load looks like, it could scale to where you just lose control of the load altogether. So that'll be one symptom. Another one would be the current. Your motor current is going to have major fluctuations. So every time a surge happens, you're gonna just your motor current's gonna plummet, and then as soon as it overcomes the surge condition, it's gonna spike right back up, and then it's gonna plummet again and then come back. So your motor current is going to have major fluctuations within a very short period of time. Okay. Because essentially during the surge condition, like the current load drops because you're not pumping anymore. So yeah, that's one of the ways that some chillers will like that's what they're looking for to determine if a surge is happening. Is they're looking for an instability in the current readings. So if it sees a change beyond X percentage of the current value, the amperage value, if it changes by X percent within X amount of time, then that's going to be logged as a surge event. So just, yeah, not going to be able to maintain set point. Your motor current's going to be fluctuating. You're going to see a lot of times you'll see your pressure readings fluctuate heavily. So you'll have a moment where your condenser pressure will begin to drop, your suction pressure will come up, and then they'll separate back out, and then they won't equalize. Okay, they're not going to be as extreme to equalize, but they will get closer, right? The difference, the lift will drop momentarily and then come back, and then drop and come back. Another condition I have seen, your suction inlet temp. So some chillers, and I saw this with a McQuay at one point. So a McQuay they're reading suction inlet temp, and it was actually the surge on this was very, very quiet. The suction temp was spiking just suddenly, and then it would drop back down, and we'd see the suction temp spike again. Now, a lot of centrifugals are not monitoring suction temperature, but in the event that you were, that could be another symptom or sign that you could look for to just indicate a surge state. Because essentially what's happening is that refrigerant in the discharge that is superheated is backflowing into the suction elbow, and the temperature sensor is reading that discharge temperature hitting the suction elbow, and then when the compressor is able to overcome it, it then pulls suction gas back out of the evaporator, and so that temperature sensor sees that cooler suction gas come back through there again, and then at the next surge event, that discharge gas then hits that temperature sensor again, raises the temp, and we just kind of get back, just like with the pressure or the current rating, right? How those are constantly in fluctuation, that temperature sensor would be as well. So anyway, just for some additional symptoms beyond just noise, Those are some things you could look at to help determine, do you have a surge happening? Now, if it's a very minor surging, which will still cause like leaving water control issues, you'll still have trouble maintaining set point consistently, but you may not be going into a major surge event. So some of these conditions may be far more minimized. You may not have major fluctuations as if you were having a major surge event. So in that circumstance, it can be more tricky to pick it up, and that's where it comes down to experience, your training, and then just getting an eye for it. That is what makes our skill as technicians. We develop an eye for these things through repetition, experience, and education. And as we develop a sense and an eye for this, and we're applying that experience and that knowledge to the situation to defer that there is a problem. If you're not already in Chiller Academy, I'd really encourage you to go check it out. Just think about it, right? This is what I do full time. I've committed. I've stepped out of the field, committed my career to this going forward. This is what I've always wanted to do, and to be able to educate, help others, and grow, and help this industry take steps forward. So chilleracademy.com. I'd love to be able to work with you over there. We've got a community page. All the lessons have a comment section. That's what I spend a lot of my day doing. If I'm not working on the lesson material itself, then I am in the comments and I'm trying to respond to those as fast as I can, in addition to helping you through email and otherwise. So love to be able to work with you. For all of those that are in the academy, y'all are doing some great work out there. Keep it up. I really appreciate the support and the feedback that you've given.